Hi, my name is Kat and welcome to Vegan Diver Kat. This week we have a collaboration with Azul Unlimited, and Sarah, who is the head instructor there, or one of the instructors there, joins us today to talk about why not to become a scuba diving instructor. Now, before you get all confused, I was a scuba diving instructor for 7 years, absolutely loved it. It's an incredible life and everything, but here are just 5 things you may want to consider, in case it's a good idea. There's tons of playlists you can listen to and hear all about why to become a scuba diving instructor, but this is a little bit something different.
Reasons why not to become a scuba instructor. Job security is a real issue. A lot of times, scuba instructors are working outside of their home country. So that means that a lot of times we don't have the same rights that we would expect in other jobs. The scuba industry can be really affected by things like natural disasters, political motives in the country, and also, well, we see it right now, global pandemic. So even though most of the time there are plenty of jobs, it is quite easy to lose that job and not get any kind of compensation for it. The other thing is that a lot of times we're expected to work kind of under the table or illegally. Things are changing so that that doesn't happen as often in a lot of places, but that's still a thing. So there is less security in that sense as well, unless you do have a legitimate working visa. That's why it's really important, if you decide that's okay, I don't mind a little bit of lack of security for what I'm doing. It's really smart to save money and make sure that you have a cushion that you can rely on just in case something happens.
On top of that, you also want to know that you're never going to become rich by being a diving instructor. This is not necessarily a career where you progress up and up and up and make more money with every step you take on a ladder. You are living a lifestyle. You are making enough money to live by, depending on where you live in the world. That may be more, that may be less. As Sarah mentioned, sometimes it's under the table. Sometimes it's a lot less than you would expect. Sometimes it's less than the necessarily hourly wage because the days are so long. So you don't get into it for money. Can you survive off a scuba diving instructor wage? Yes. Can you save a lot? Depends how frugal you are, depends on what country you are. Some places you may be just making $10 per customer you take out. Some place you get an hourly wage. Some places you get a daily rate. So it just fully depends on where you are in the world. But it's never going to be the type of job that you should go for if you're in it for the money. You're in it because you love the ocean and you love teaching and you love the lifestyle.
If your main purpose for becoming a scuba instructor is just because you love diving, then I don't recommend it. If you just love diving and you love guiding, then be a dive master. There's nothing wrong with that. You really need to love teaching, because teaching is what we're hired to do. And it does take a special person to be able to teach, especially beginners, scuba diving. In a lot of places, you might need to be an instructor in order to get a job as a foreigner. So if you want to have more job opportunities opened up to you, you can go through the IDC course and become an instructor, but then only focus on diving locations where your primary job is going to be guiding. Places like here in Komodo are great for that because the majority of our clientele are fun divers. If you do decide to go that route, you do need to be prepared to teach and to be a good instructor, but you don't have to worry about teaching DSDs every single day.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the sponsor of today's video, which of course is plastic-free razor leaf shave. They are amazing. They're suited for men and for women. You can just change out the blades really quickly and easily. No more plastic waste. You are just getting a clean, beautiful shave while helping the planet and yourself. So go down below, leaf shave, get yourself a razor, get yourself a discount. Get on helping the planet now in plastic-free July. Along with that, you should also not become a scuba diving instructor if you're not a very patient person. So just like many teaching professions, scuba diving requires a lot of patience and dealing with many different types of people. Unlike a school setting where you're dealing with just a certain age bracket, when you're teaching diving, you can be teaching anyone ages 8 to 80. You can be teaching people from all over the world, any nationality, any background, any cultural background, and there can be a lot of clashing opinions. There can be people who are very scared, there can be people who get panicked, there can be people who are very annoying, there can be people who will ask you a million questions. You need to be able to be smiling, happy, positive, reassuring, and a people person even on days when you don't feel that good. So you need to be sociable, you need to be patient, you need to be kind, and remember that scuba diving is a very scary thing to a lot of people. And as diving instructors, we need to be compassionate and not rush our students to make sure all of them get the opportunity to pass their open water course and then hopefully progress to be amazing divers and get to experience the beauty of the underwater world.
If you want an easy job, being a scuba instructor is not for you. There's a common misperception that scuba instructors just kind of hang out with their students, they go diving, it's really chill, they go back to the bar, they have a coconut or a beer, they hang out, and it's super easy. Although some of those aspects are true, we do get to do really cool things while we're working. We do get to hang out with our clients after a day of diving, but the days are long and the work is very, very strenuous. In a lot of places, we're loading the boat, so we're carrying tanks and equipment. It's hard physical work. Also, being responsible for people underwater is a really big deal. It's not something to take lightly, especially in places where conditions can be challenging. The days usually start at the crack of dawn, depending on where you are, maybe even before the sun even rises. And a lot of places you're also doing night dives. So, you know, they are very long days. You tend not to get a lot of days off. So it's just something to consider. If you want to work as a scuba instructor, there are pros and cons to it.
My last point is scuba diving can have some serious impacts on your health. Now, whether we're talking short term where you feel extremely tired, because it is a very physical job. When I was working in the Comoros in Africa, I lost a lot of weight because I was in the water 8 hours a day almost every day. If you do it for many years, people have noticed that their hearing actually decreases due to the constant pressure changes in the water. We don't really know what the long-term benefits or side effects are of scuba diving. There are some thoughts that it could affect bone density and just that kind of stuff. So you don't really know what it's going to do to your body if you're diving every single day for 2, 5, 10, 20 years. People do get very tired. It is a very physically demanding job. So that is just something you may want to consider. Also, if something goes wrong, like you burst your eardrum, or you have some sort of ear issue, or you develop a heart condition, you may not be able to continue diving, and that would create quite a bit of stress in your job if that is your primary source of income and you don't have any alternatives, and all of a sudden you are not able to dive because you are injured like that. Ear injuries can sometimes last a lifetime, and sometimes there are surgeries you can take, or in my case, I couldn't dive for 4 months because I had some issues with my ear, but that was just a simple infection, and once I went to the right doctor, they managed to fix it, and it was all good. If you're curious to hear about my ear issue story, let me know down below. But that is kind of my last point, and I hope you enjoyed mine and Sarah's take on why you should not become a scuba diving instructor. And yeah, head on over to their channel, Azul Unlimited, and learn more about scuba diving in Komodo and just the beautiful places they have over there. And once restriction ease, maybe you and I can head on over to Azul Unlimited and do some scuba diving in their pristine national parks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.